All right, what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to Just Ballin', and the Ringer.com just dropped their updated top 100 player rankings. So, like always, I like to go through these, react to them, see if I agree or disagree with any of their rankings. I will leave a link to this in the episode description. And yeah, we could just hop right into this. I'm kind of excited to see where some of these names are. We'll see if anybody's entered the top 100. If there is a name that doesn't come up that you think should have been in the top 100, let me know in the comments, and I probably could agree with you as well. So they do this with a bunch of analysts over there, writers, personnel, like Bill Simmons. It's his company, and obviously he's got like the biggest sports podcast out there. I believe he goes into this as well. So they have Christian Brown at number one. Or excuse me, at 100. We're starting at 100. So then the first person we're going to see here, his first time entering the top 100. And I'm kind of surprised it took them this long to get Christian Brown in the top 100. Now, there's 30 teams, 15 spots per team. We're going to see over 450 players in an NBA season. So it is tough to be a top 100 guy. But I would say Christian Brown has been a top 100 guy probably since November this season. I don't think he's going to win most improved, but he should at least be in that conversation. I think he's more deserving for that award than like a Cade Cunningham, depending on how you think that award should be voted for. But Christian Brown has probably been the third or fourth best Nugget this season. Next up at 99, we have PJ Washington, who back in December was ranked 87th, and he has dropped over the last few months, now down to number 99. PJ Washington has been a great defender this year when he's been healthy. It's just we saw that stretch where he wasn't on the floor. I believe he recently came back, but I would say if his shot is not falling, it's tough to say he's a top 100 guy. But I think Mavericks fans are happy with the defense improving this year because that is going to be a big part of the team come playoff time. Next up at 98, we have Derek Lively, who was around 89, 88 all year long and then drops to 98. He's been hurt, so I guess that's why he's taking a notable hit. I don't really think Derek Lively should take a notable hit. I think he should probably be around that range, unless the guys we have ahead of him are just passing him. So far right now, like, I'm fine with this, with Brown at 100, Washington at 99, and Derek Lively at 98. We have Tari Eason at 97, who peaked back in December at 86. He started off the year at 96. Now he's back down to 97. I think Eason, also dealing with some injuries as well at times this year, but he's somebody whose shot could be inconsistent, but is still an incredible defender. So, like, right now, do I think Eason's a better player than Lively? I'm not sure. I don't know if Eason's better than Washington right now or Christian Brown, but I'm glad he's in the top 100. We have Benedict Mathurin at 96. He has dropped, or he's stayed the same since the last ranking. Somebody that I think deserves more touches, even though he does get a ton, and he does get to shoot the ball a lot. I think he could be a little bit more explosive. In that 2022 draft class, this upcoming offseason, they're going to have a lot of interesting decisions to make on who's going to get extended and who's not. But I think Benedict Mathurin, he's been consistent this year for the Pacers. I wonder, like, does he have another level to go and elevate his game? Or is this kind of like the type of player we're going to see throughout most of his career? Next up at 95, we have Jalen Green. Wow, so he's actually going up. He was high 70s at the start of the year in October, November, December. It looks like they do update these every month. And then in January, they just took him off, which is crazy because Jalen Green got off to such an electric start in like the calendar year 2025. I mean, there is going to be just inconsistencies with Jalen Green, and I think that's just the guy we are going to come to see. Is Jalen Green better than Benedict Mathurin? I'd say so. I'd say he's probably better than all of these guys right here. At least I would have on my team. But if I'm trying to plug and play somebody around like Jokic or Giannis, maybe I'd rather have a Christian Brown or like a Derek Lively around a Luka than a Jalen Green. But I think it really just depends on fit. Now, Jalen Duren, first time entering the top 100 this year. I'm glad they're giving Jalen Duren the respect. I hope we get a lot of Pistons respect here. Like, I don't know if we're going to see Malik Beasley, but he's been playing like a top 100 guy as of late. But ever since Asar Thompson has entered the lineup, this team as a whole defensively has been getting better. And that is so big for Jalen Duren, who had so many question marks defensively going into this year by me, by the media, I think by a lot of people, Pistons fans as well. Maybe didn't get off to the best start this year, but it is coming around over the last few weeks. I think I'm seeing a noticeable improvement. Pistons fans, you can let me know if you agree. Maybe it's just playing alongside Asar Thompson and helps out a lot, but that is massive for the Pistons and their future. And Duren was like the youngest player. I think he was the youngest player back in that 2022 draft class. So he's still just 21 years old, and him just kind of building that connection with Cade over time is going to be great for them. Now, I don't know. I mean, he's also somebody that could get extended this offseason like Jaden Ivey. Could they work out? I don't know if it's going to be a team-friendly contract, but I would give Jalen Duren I mean, if he could take that Isaiah Stewart contract, that'd be great for them. I expect him to make a little bit more money because of the ceiling being higher than Stewart, but I'm glad the Ringer is giving him some respect because I think he has been playing like a top 100 player as of late. We have Brook Lopez here at 93. He started off the year at 70, and then he's pretty much been in the mid-90s all year long. Lopez took a hilarious three the other night against the Houston Rockets. It was like 40 feet out. I mean, he was open technically, but man, that was probably not the best shot selection in the world whatsoever. Brook has just kind of been reliable. He's what he is at this point. And it's still, I think, a top 100 player in this league. Still doing it at age 36. We have Dillon Brooks at 92. Dillon Brooks better than Jalen Green. Rockets fans, you got to let me know how you would order Brooks, Eason, and Jalen Green. I would say right now I'd probably have Brooks over Eason. Long term, it's Eason, but right now Brooks is better. I don't know though. I don't know. I guess like Brooks gives you a lot of value on the defensive end of the floor and isn't like a negative or like a liability offensively. Like Jalen Green, it comes and goes. Like he got up to a good offensive start, or excuse me, good defensive start, and then I think it struggled a little bit. So yeah, they're a little bit indifferent, I think, than I would be on ranking those Rockets, that Rockets trio. But I'm sure we have at least two more Rockets to talk about. 91, we have Denny Avdia, man. How about those Portland Trailblazers? Moment I'm recording this, they are a game out of the 11 seed from the Phoenix Suns. Or is that that's the 11 seed, right? So just shout out to the Portland Trailblazers as of late. I don't know if like Denny and the way Sharp, like that poster dunk against the Wizards was sick. One of the best in game dunks I've seen. Scooty's been playing better. But like Tumani Kamara and Denny Avdia, they look great out there together. And I think they may have saved Chauncey Billups and Joe Cronin's job. Yeah, I always forget if it's Joe or Mick. I think Mick is the UCLA coach. But Denny Avdia has been good this year. And this is exactly the player that the Blazers traded for. He got off to a tough start, or a rough start, but has been really come along over the course of the year. And it's first time in the top 100. But Denny has been good, and he's still under a great contract. Peyton Pritchard at 90. He has dropped 6 spots. They say we have Curry at home. Pritchard over Denny, that's fine. You know, I'm a big Peyton Pritchard guy, so I'm okay with this. It's just funny. Peyton Pritchard over Jalen Green, but you gave Peyton Pritchard Jalen Green's usage. Could he put up more points per game? Maybe. And maybe they're the same. Actually, I think Peyton Pritchard's actually pretty good defensively. He's not a liability there whatsoever. Then I'm kind of surprised Anthony Simons is at 89. Now, he's had his good moments over the last few weeks, but I think Peyton Pritchard's better than Anthony Simons. I think Denny Avdia is better than Anthony Simons. I would say, like, when healthy, Derek Lively, I would say he's more valuable than Anthony Simons. Maybe I'm just a little bit off Anthony. I'm fine with him being in the top 100. I just think some of the guys behind him should be ahead of him. Brandon Miller here at 88. He's out for the year, so he's fallen off. He peaked this year in December at 75. This has been a weird year too, maybe of a sophomore slump. People are going to look at the efficiency, but they're not going to actually watch the Hornets games where even times when LaMelo was either healthy or out, there's not many guys on this team that are creating their own shots. They're playing with like Miles Bridges and some G Leaguers half the time. And Miller was forced to take such tough shots because nobody else on this team can create their own shot, and they're passing it to him late in the shot clock. And I posted a tweet that was like, it was a picture of Wemby, Miller, Scoot, and the Thompson twins. And I said, if Scoot can hit his ceiling, this top 5 could be really special. And I would say Miller has shown more so far than Scoot, but Scoot has been great as of late. And everybody in the comments was kind of like, Miller's like the polar bear in Texas here. And I think Miller, maybe like his stock is low right now. I'm buying even more Brandon Miller stock this season. Miles Turner drops to 87. Interesting. Okay. Miles Turner there. I'm at 87. I would still take Miles Turner over all the bigs we've listed so far, like Lopez, Duran, Derek Lively. He's like, I don't know. This Pacers team, I hate to like look ahead too much, and I tend to do this because, you know, it's an exciting part about the game. But like, what is this Pacers team ceiling? Because I talked about it before. What is Benedict Mathurin's like? Does he have another level that he can go to as a scorer and could be a legitimate number 2 to Siakam or Halliburton when one of those guys isn't going? Can Siakam, how many more years can he put up this caliber of production? Does Halliburton have another offensive level that we thought he had last year, but it's been kind of inconsistent since that 2024 in-season tournament? I mean, Andrew Nembhard is a super underrated player in this league and a great defender. I like Aaron Nesmith as a role player. What is Jarris Walker, and are they ever going to fully commit to consistent playing time for him? I just don't know what the Pacers ceiling is with this current roster. Like, do they have another level, another gear, like the Cleveland Cavaliers with their core? Or I'm trying to think of a team in the past that could also be like this. Maybe the Memphis Grizzlies, maybe the Minnesota Timberwolves that we've seen like over the last 5 years. I don't know if the Pacers have that. Hey, they were in the conference finals last year. I don't want to sound like a Pacers hater, but I don't think they make it to the conference finals if OG doesn't get hurt, or if Giannis and Lillard don't get hurt, or Randall. But they have good players. They have good depth. They have most of their draft capital. I just wonder, is there a Miles Turner extension? What does that look like? Does Jarris Walker have a big role in this team going forward? Hey, if you're a Pacers fan, I'd love to know what your thoughts on this current construction of this team. Do you think Rick Carlisle is the right guy for the job? I feel like he's had his ups and downs. We have Lou Dort at 86. Hey, we're going to preach defense, and this Thunder defense as a whole has just been absolutely electric this year. Caruso at 85, he's dropping. Now, Caruso is also such a good defender. Like, I wonder which Thunder defender is going to make all defensive first team, because I think one of them have to, just because of how good the team defense has been this year. And when you talk about all defensive first team spots, you probably have Mobley, Triple J, and Dyson Daniels. And with Wemby out of the equation, who gets the final two spots? I think I'm okay with, like, does Nembhard get a spot? I think Caruso could get a spot. I wonder how that contract will age because of his offensive role and what he's going to be with his efficiency. It's been very inconsistent this year. He got off to a horrible start shooting the ball. I don't know, though. Like, I know Alex Caruso is such a good defender. I think there are some other guys that I think are better than him. Like, I honestly don't know if that's a hot take, but I think Peyton Pritchard might be better than Alex Caruso. DeAndre Hunter at 84. I don't know if that's a Cavs bump. Hunter's been good this year, and he's been good since he got traded to the Cavs. I just don't know if I would take Hunter over some of the other guys we've talked about already. Bradley Beal at 83. Beal is still a good player. It's just he's overpaid, and I don't know if Suns fans would agree that are watching or listening to this, but I saw, like, on Twitter, people were, like, mad about Beal not playing the other night against the Pelicans, or last night from when I'm recording this. And he played, like, 4 games in a row, and it was too much. And I think it was, like, left calf soreness or something like that. I don't know, man. Beal's been fine this year. It's just when he's taking up 20+% of your cap space, it's tough to justify. Devin Vassell at 82 was way too high. What are we doing there? Devin Vassell, he has peaked at 70, and he's dropped 10 spots. But Devin Vassell is not better than Bradley Beal. Devin Vassell is not better than DeAndre Hunter. Right now, today, I don't think he's better than Caruso, Dort, Miles Turner, a bunch of the guys that we've listed already. I did tweet out that I think the Spurs young core outside of Wemby and Castle has kind of been disappointing this year. I don't think Vassell has taken a leap. I don't think Soen has taken a leap. I mean, we're kind of out on Branham and Wesley. And then the other player Keldon Johnson, I think, like, got off to a fine start, but then it's been slipping since. And I just think, like, the Spurs core, yeah, it's kind of lackluster. And I think everybody outside of Castle, Wemby, and Fox are just going to be up for grabs eventually. We have Jaden McDaniels at 81, who has been playing better offensively as of late, which is encouraging because I've always been harping that, like, McDaniels has been a little underwhelming off that breakout season in 2023. So I'm glad to see that he's been picking it up as of late. So next up at 80, we have Kobe White. Just like now we're at the point where I could start saying some of the guys behind Kobe White that I'd prefer. I don't know, like, is Bradley Beal better than Kobe White? Is he more overpaid than Kobe? Yeah, so I wonder if that kind of goes into their mindset over time. Like, Kobe, I think, has been pretty similar to what he was last year for the Bulls, and now with, like, LaVine and DeRozan out of the picture from last year's team, he's going to have more focus on the opposing defense, and he's going to be guarded by some of the best guys, and we're going to see if his efficiency can hold up. Vucevic at 79. I'm surprised he's still a Bull at this point, but you know what? At least he's still out there at times. But I'm just, like, kind of over watching Vucevic in a Bulls uni. I think he's not like Russell Westbrook. Like there couldn't be more opposite of players. But I think, like, something... I mean, he's going to get paid a decent amount of money, at least for next year as well. And it'll be an expiring. But I think I'm excited to see, hopefully, Vucevic on a contending team. And maybe he can... I don't know. He's not going to be a Brook Lopez either because he's not going to be that defensively. But if he could be someone that can maybe transition into just a good three-point shooting big off the bench and could maybe try to compete in some playoff series over the next few years. Julius Randle at 78. He started off the season at 52, and that was after the Cat trade. He's been banged up, so I think it's just like the banged up hit here. That seems to be a trend. If you've been hurt, you're dropping. Same with Herb Jones, who peaked at the start of the year at 62. Now he's at 77. But he's been hurt this year. It's just been a season of hell. For injuries as a whole, there's been a ton of them, like there is every year, but there's been a ton of Pelicans injuries. We have Cam Johnson at 76. Shout out to the Nets, still winning games. Not sure if they want to do that, but I do think Cam Johnson's been great this year, bumping up that trade value. Naz Reid, bumping up his financial value for the offseason as well, as he's been phenomenal. I'd say he's been, I think you could say, the second best Timberwolves this year. Maybe Timberwolves fans are still, they love Rudy's defense, but I mean, you could maybe give a case for McDaniels, but I think Naz Reid has been the second best Wolf after Ant, and that's somebody they have to re-sign in the offseason. CJ McCollum at 74. Like, I like CJ. I don't know. I think him and Beal should be closer together, honestly. But CJ has at least been somewhat reliable for them this year with all their injuries, and he's one of the older guys on the team. RJ at 73. He did peak this year back in December at 63. You got to look up his home road splits. They are kind of crazy compared to what he does on the road to what he does in Toronto. DeJounte Murray at 72. He started off the season at 57, and we know he's going to be out for the rest of this year and probably the start of next year. Brandon Ingram may not play again this year, which is kind of crazy. I mean, he might play in like the final month of the year. I would like to see like a decent sample size of him and Quickly and Barrett and Barnes and all these guys playing together, but I don't know if that's going to happen. He's definitely taken a hit in their rankings. Like, he started off the season at 48. He dropped all the way to 71 because he hasn't played, but he got that new extension. Maybe the Raptors just want to lose games to get some picks. Fred VanVleet at 70 is what? What? Are they just scared to drop him? I mean, like, I think Fred VanVleet is still a contributing player in this league. He's still good. Like, he can still play defense at a well level, and if the three-point shot is there, hey, he's an effective point guard. But, man, I am taking a lot of players behind Fred VanVleet. Maybe this is a hot take, but I'm taking Ingram over him. I'm taking McCollum maybe over him. I'm taking Naz Reid, Cam Johnson, maybe Herb. I don't know about Herb Jones, but I feel like there's some players behind him that I would take over Fred VanVleet. So I feel like he's a little high at 70. Josh Hart at 69, highest he's been all year. I mean, he's like the most impactful role player in this league, if he's even a role player anymore. And if Derek White's not a role player anymore, like, he's somebody that averages a double-double with 5 to 6 assists a night, and he's a 6'5 guard. Yeah, he just does it all. I think he's better than Hartenstein, and Hartenstein's coming in at 68. I mean, the Knicks are feeling the loss of Hartenstein in the offseason. I mean, he's such a good defender. He's still just 26 years old. I'm really excited to see him in Chet. Like, I hope some way we can get Dallas OKC in a playoff series. Like, I want to see AD and either Gafford or Lively go up against Chet and Hartenstein. And that could be, oh man, big on big lineups. Like, we don't really get to see that much anymore. That'd be fun. Paul George started off the season at 23 and he drops to 67. I mean, right now, I don't even know if Paul George is better than Josh Hart, which is crazy to say. He's making $50 million a year. Dyson Daniels is peaking here at 66. Like I said before, I think he, Triple J, and Mobley are locks for all defensive first team. I don't know who joins them, though. But Dyson, been one of the more improved players this year. If there was a most improved team, he'd be on that as well. Austin Reeves at 65. He's been playing out of his mind since the Luka trade. And honestly, before that deal went down, his playmaking has been on another level. His finishing at the rim, his jump shot. He is kind of like a perfect secondary shot creator for Luka and LeBron in LA. Zubats here at 64. I like Zubats, and I think he should be around this range, but I think I like Reeves a little bit better than Zubats. Like, maybe that's it. Yeah, so maybe this is a good spot for Zubats. Draymond at 63, dropping a little bit. Still a really good defender. Going to be limited offensively. I would, like, is Josh Hart better than Draymond Green? I think so. Maybe that's a Knicks bias to me, so I'm not going to say that it's not biased. Amen Thompson at 62. I know Drew Holiday's a great defender. So we have, okay, Jalen Suggs at 60, Drew Holiday at 61. I'm surprised Suggs has, or it says he's gone up, but he's actually gone down. So that's a mistake here. Look at that. Catching a mistake in their game. But Drew Holiday drops. Amen Thompson at 62. Maybe I'm like, I don't know if this is too reactionary, but I think Amen Thompson is maybe better than Drew Holiday or Suggs right now. Maybe not Drew Holiday because you still value his elite point of attack defense, his championship experience for this year right now, and that's what this ranking is. It isn't like a future ranking or a value ranking for like the asset. But I think Amen Thompson is better than Jalen Suggs right now. I think the defense is very close, and I like the downhill attack of Amen more than Suggs. Maybe they're just thinking Amen's shot, which still needs some work, which it has improved this year. Gobert at 59. All right, so he has dropped 2 spots. He's dropped 23 spots since the start of the year. Mikal Bridges at 58. He's actually gone up a spot, which is interesting. I think this could be a little bit high for Mikal this year. I think him and Josh Hart have been very close in value for the Knicks. He had a bad stretch, and then he had a really good game against Philadelphia. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I think that might be a little high, and I'm a Knicks fan, so this is me saying that Mikal Bridges is too high at 58. Aaron Gordon at 57 also feels a little high. I think there's some players behind Aaron Gordon that I would prefer right now today. Like, I think Austin Reeves is better than Aaron Gordon. And OG at 56. So OG peaked in December at 42. I think this is high. This has not been the same OG Anunoby that we saw last year or in the playoffs for the Knicks. Maybe even at the start of the year. I don't know if he's dealing with some injuries, which we did see happen back in early February against the Lakers. But I don't think OG has been the 56th best player in the league. I think like Josh Hart has been better than OG as of late. So there's a lot of players that I've talked about so far. I think I would take over current day OG. Michael Porter Jr. at 55. He has moved up 11 spots. Still a very good shooter. He knows his role in this Denver Nuggets offense. I don't know. There's maybe some players behind him that I would prefer right now. Like, is Reeves? Man, Reeves and Jokic two-man game would be crazy. 54, we have DeMar DeRozan, who has been shooting the ball very good as of late. And hey, we're watching him and Levine cook again. Speaking of Levine, we have him at 53. He was 44 last time. Levine's hot streaks in a game, maybe nobody better when he's going. And it's so much fun to watch. Kristaps at 52. When he's healthy, should be around this range, but can he be consistently healthy? Desmond Bane at 51. I like Desmond Bane be like a number 2 option behind Triple J with Ja out. And I've also liked Desmond Bane's improvement as a playmaker this year as well. Joel Embiid drops to 50. Oh my God, he started this year at 5. Former MVP winner whose career has been derailed by injuries. Yeah, and Joel Embiid is out for the year. That has been official. I guess they're going to do the knee surgery, and it's for the best. I mean, they want to keep their first-round pick this year. You want to see what you can have out of, like, at least Justin Edwards, Maxey, trying to improve when he's now going to be the focus point of opposing defenses. Paul George, I don't know what's going on with him. Get him healthy next year. You get Jared McCain healthy next year. I mean, if you get a top 5 pick, this is really encouraging for their future, even with Embiid and Paul George being on maybe the end of their careers, at least health-wise, because you would have McCain, Maxey, and say it's like Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe. That's exciting about the future of the Sixers. 49, we got Trey Murphy, who's moved up 22 spots, and he's had some really good offensive explosions as of late. Also, when Zion's out, he could struggle. It's kind of like the Maxey situation in Philly. Like when Embiid's out, Maxey does struggle with his efficiency as the top guy. I wonder if we'll run into that with Murphy because he hasn't really, I think, ironed out the consistency yet with his shot. Lauri Markkanen here at 48. Now, I don't think we're going to see him yet, but I'm surprised Walker Kessler not on the top 100. Markkanen's dropping off a little bit. Yeah, maybe he hasn't been the best this year. Whoa, positional anomaly. Jason Tatum. But okay, Markkanen's here at 48. It's just so tough to rank Joel Embiid. We have Norman Powell at 47. He's probably going to win most improved unless Cade takes it from him. Jared Allen at 46. I think maybe feels a tad high. Like, I think I like Kristaps more than Jared Allen. Oh, man, Embiid is crazy at 50, but, I mean, he's just never healthy, so it is really tough to say that. But Allen is more reliable than Kristaps, so I get that. I think they're putting a lot into availability in these rankings. Jalen Johnson drops 3 spots. He's out for the year, so I guess he hasn't taken too much of a hit. Tyler Hero, 44, all-star this year. Highest he's been. 44 feels kind of low for Hero. I feel like he's been a top 40 guy this year. Scotty Barnes at 43. He's been around 40, 47, 44, 47 all year long. I'll always go back to me having him 47 in my preseason rankings, and I got so much hate for it, but he has been around that this year. Either way, Scotty, man, he can have such good scoring performances. Something I'm trying to evaluate in Barnes' game is what's his ceiling as the number 1, as an offensive engine and hub for this team. And I think at times he could still struggle to create separation, just trying to go and work in isolation. But he's got such a good size. He can handle the ball so well for somebody at 6'8". I want to see him healthy next year, and I hope it works out with Ingram. I'm a little skeptical about that fit with those two next to each other, but maybe Masai thinks there's incredible value there long term. We have Derek White at 42. I don't know if White's been playing with injuries this year. Hasn't felt like he's the exact same, but he's still an incredible player, and here's at 42. Kawhi at 41. Is Kawhi? I don't know, man. I don't know if Kawhi should be here at 41 because you worry about the injuries, and when he's out there, I don't know. I can't say Jalen Johnson because he's hurt, but all right, I guess we have Kawhi here at 41. Zion at 40. I mean, they're always going to count injuries, but I legitimately think when, this version of Zion that we see play the other night against the Suns or play the other night against the Spurs, this is a top 15 player in the league if he's healthy, but he just can't stay healthy. We have Chet here at 39. He's been banged up this year, and they're trying to ramp him up again after the hip injury. Siakam at 38, been around that range all year. He's just been super consistent for the Pacers as their lone all-star in 2025. LaMelo at 37. It's also the debate with Zion and some of these young guys that consistently get healthy, or consistently get hurt. I think Zion's better than LaMelo. Now, LaMelo's at least been more available than Zion, but not by much, which is kind of crazy because Zion has missed so much time. I think Zion's better than LaMelo. I don't know if that's a hot take. Şengün at 36, all-star this year. Probably the best player on the Rockets. I think this could be high, though, for Şengün. I'm a little bit lower on Şengün right now. Still like him long-term. He's 22 years old. And I don't want to be negative towards the Rockets because I feel like, I don't know, I was negative towards Van Vliet, but I think I was very positive for him and Thompson. I think Zion's better than Şengün, but hey, their rankings take into account injuries, so I can't keep going back on that. We have James Harden at 35 and Bam at 34. Harden was an all-star this year. This has not been the highest he's been all year. It's just I would like that field goal percentage to get above 40% for the rest of the year, right? Bam Adebayo coming in here at 34, the lowest he's been all year. It's just been a little disappointing for Bam offensively, but he has been better over the last few weeks. Maxey at 33, you're just seeing the efficiency not be there for a number one, and he's going to have to act like a number one for the rest of the year. And who knows, maybe for the rest of the Embiid era in Philly, if Embiid can't stay healthy to be a number one. Paolo at 32, Paolo, man. He peaked at 16, and he had that abdominal injury after an incredible start. Yeah, I don't know. He's struggled, I think, creating his own shot, and I think the mid-range it hasn't been working for him. He had a good game the other night against the Warriors where Steph went off, but I'd like to see Paolo maybe change up his shot diet a little bit throughout the rest of the year, but I still don't think he's 100%. Jamal Murray at 31 feels high, but he has been cooking since the disappointing start. I'm trying to think, like, Murray or Harden's an interesting debate. Like, I think Zion's better than Murray. It's just the health, right? But Murray's no, like, guy that's consistently healthy out there. We have Trae Young at 30. He did drop one spot. Trae Young's efficiency has been also down a little bit this year, but his usage, his touches are so high because I think when I was talking before about Brandon Miller, it's kind of the same. Like, Trae is an incredible playmaker, passer, going to lead the NBA in assists, but he has to do so much for this offense, especially with Jalen Johnson. Now, Dame at 29 feels low. Dame's been good this year. I think Dame's been better than Franz. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I'm surprised they have Franz at 28, one spot higher of Dame. I think Dame's been better than Jalen Williams. Now, I do value Jalen Williams' defense. He has dropped 6 spots, but I struggle about J-Dub as a number 2 in the playoffs. I'm a little skeptical about it. Jimmy at 26, he goes up 13 spots. All right, Jimmy's been good in Golden State, but he hasn't been, I think, like top 25 in the league, and he's coming here at 26, so I don't know if this is a little bit of the Warriors team success than Jimmy Butler. Garland at 25. So we have Garland ahead of Dame, Trae, Jamal, Maxey, Harden, LaMelo. Okay. I mean, Garland's been incredible this year with the efficiency, the playmaking, the finishing at the rim. Ja at 24. Hey, if you're going to say that Garland is better than all those guards, he's been better than Ja Morant right now. So I disagree there. I think Garland should be higher than Ja, at least for this year as a whole. I don't think Ja should be 24. Ja should be a lot lower than that. I think Dame's been better than Ja right now. And that's what this ranking is right now. Kyrie Irving coming in at 23. Feels like he should be higher. Like, Kyrie's been cooking this year, and he's been around this range for the Ringer all year long. We do have Jaren Jackson Jr. at 22. Also, maybe should be higher because he's been available. He's been great on both ends. He may win Depoy, but we'll see who they have ahead of him. De'Aaron Fox at 21. Yeah, I think I would have Jaren Jackson Jr. ahead of De'Aaron Fox. Fox has been good this year, don't get me wrong, but I think Kyrie and Triple J have been better than Fox in 2025. Sabonis at 20, just super consistent for what he gives you on the offensive end. I'm fine with that. Halliburton at 19, who has been better over the last few weeks, but 2025, like, Kyrie has been better than Tyrese Halliburton. So I disagree with that right now. Jaylen Brown at 18. His efficiency has never been like fully consistent this year, but is still a great two-way player. So I'm fine with him at 18. Cade at 17, highest he's been all year. Started at 54. Man, Cade may make All NBA first team. I think he's almost a lock to get second team, just the way the Pistons have been playing and how good he's been. So yeah, no Malik Beasley, no Asar Thompson in the top 100 either. We just have Cade and Duren. We have Evan Mobley at 16. I don't know, man. I don't know how you have Cade lower than Mobley. Like, if Mobley was the number 1 on this Pistons team, I don't know how I'd feel about them. But I'm fine with Mobley being this high, but I just feel like Cade has been better than Mobley this year. Because if you're going to rank it like all NBA teams, like, I don't know if Mobley's an all NBA second team guy, but he may win Depoy now that Wemby isn't going to win it. Booker at 15. Man, Booker's still so good. He really is. I don't know. I think I'm fine with Booker at 15. Cat at 14, he's been going down a little bit, banged up. He went through a rough shooting stretch when he had the hand or finger injury. I think maybe this is a little high for Cat. I think Booker has been better than Cat. I think Cade has been better than Cat, but they're in different roles. Jalen Brunson actually drops 3 spots. I don't know if I agree with that. Brunson's been, I think, the clutch player of the year. He's been incredible for the Knicks, and Dave Podcast Bro is one of his emotes here. But either way, I don't know. You're always going to get, like, not the best defense from Brunson, but I also don't think he's, like, a complete liability on that end. Like, he gives a shit, at least. Sorry for cursing. AD at 12. I'm fine with AD ahead of Brunson, but hey, Brunson's been available. So I don't know. But AD has dropped 3 spots. KD at 11. KD or Brunson? I guess I still got to go with KD, right? Wemby at 10. So Wemby does drop 4 spots, I assume, with the blood clot. He's not going to win Depoy. But yeah, Wemby would have been, I think, All-NBA first team if he didn't suffer that health scare. And at number 9, he goes up 2 spots. He may get that last All-NBA first team spot. If it's like, so it's guaranteed Jokic, Shea, and Tatum. And then Giannis, as long as he hits 65 games, will 100% get it. So that last spot is up for grabs. Maybe it won't be Cade. I think if Giannis does get on, it's going to come down to like Ant, Donovan Mitchell, who they have here at number 8. And I don't know, like I think Brunson is closer to Donovan Mitchell than what they have here. That's 5 spots. Like I think Brunson can get that last spot. Heck, LeBron could get that last spot as well, the way he's been playing and how good he was against Minnesota. And he's 40 years old, man. It doesn't make any sense. Steph at 6. I think LeBron is better than Steph still. And Steph actually goes up 2 spots. He's been better, and he's been actually great since the Jimmy Butler trade. And obviously, we got that prime Steph performance against the Magic, which just felt special. Luka at number 5, he does drop a spot. Maybe he's still nursing that calf injury. He's been a little inefficient since getting traded to the Lakers, but it's still Luka freaking Doncic. I'm fine with him here at 5. Tatum at number 4, so they've swapped Tatum and Luka. Also fine with me. He is, I think, underrated. I do agree with them. I know this website has the Celtics bias, but yeah, I think Tatum is underrated or maybe overhated in the NBA. His playmaking has been really good over the last few weeks. And he's just a really good defender. Like he's a better defender than Luka, Steph, LeBron, Donovan Mitchell, probably Ant. Just not Wemby, but definitely KD. Number 3, we have Giannis. Number 2, we have Shea. Number 1, we have Jokic. So fine with Jokic 1. I still think as a pure individual, Giannis is better than Shea. Yes, Shea may win MVP this year, but that's also a big bump of team success and not individual. Like he's gonna, if he gets MVP, it's also because he's had one of the best guard seasons since 2016 Steph. It's just like Giannis, I think, is actually putting up a very close statistical individual season than Shea and Jokic, like on both ends of the floor. But it's just the Bucks are going to have, 20 less wins than maybe the Thunder. They might get close to the Nuggets at the end of the year. But I think like Giannis is going to finish 3rd in MVP for how many years in a row. It's just like the Bucks aren't as good team-wise, and that's going to cost them the MVP this year. But I don't know. I'm just always been pro Giannis, but Shea has been incredible. They have Jokic 1, which has been the case all year. Shea started off the year at 4, actually dropped to 5, and then went up to 3, and then now is number 2. So that is going to be their top 100 ranking. If you guys did enjoy it, appreciate you dropping a thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a rating and review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps the pod grow on the audio platforms over there. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.